All right, welcome. Welcome to race number 7 here at Daytona International Speedway. I'll be your host tonight, Opre. We are in season number 6. We're just getting set up. Sorry for the late start. We did have a few drivers that were held back due to real life traffic issues, so we are having a slightly delayed start today, but it should be fine. So we're setting up the track. We have 6 drivers tonight. Vindaxian, Black Death, Ontario Butts, GCAV, Lad, and Vindatu. Black Death currently leading the season scoreboard based on normalized scoring, so we have taken off the worst 2 finishes, and Black Death is in front, but we do have only 2 points actually separate, I think, 1st and 4th in the standing, so it is a pretty exciting season. So we're just getting set up here, so sit back and we will get started very shortly. And thank you for joining us. Let's make sure I'm streaming to the right. Yeah, we are good. Excellent. All right, here we go. We also believe we fixed some of the performance problems that we had from the previous week, so we should be good to go this week. So as a reminder, the race is a 21-lap race. We have 1 pace lap. All the assists are turned off except for ABS and braking line. Braking line we keep on, so the newer drivers have a little bit of a fighting chance. We do have realism turned on too, so fuel damage and tire damage as well is all turned on. We also have infractions turned on as well, so you do get penalties for cutting and collisions. And should be a pretty good race, so let's see if we can have a clean pace lap. We are in the Daytona International Speedway. This is not the entire loop, though. This is the one with the cutoffs, so it's a bit more of an interesting track. Not quite as simple. Some really hard braking, especially at the beginning. And we're just waiting for this to kick off. So the scoreboard leaders right now is Black Death with currently 39 points, Interior Butts with 37 points, Daxian with 37 points, GCAV with 40, Vendatti with 33, Pono with 23, Lad with 19, Delray with 17, Fat Attack with 12, Bemuzel with 6, Euphoria with 4, Noble with 3, and John Gotchi with 1. This is a reverse poll as well, so we're just setting up the polling, and we'll get things going very shortly. Here we go. And they're off. So as a reminder, it's a 21-lap race with one pace lap. So let's back up a little bit so we can get a look at the field. So we got Lad appears to be out in front. A lot of the drivers put some serious work into their tunes this week and some good practice in, so it should be an exciting race. So we have Lad, followed by Centurio Butts, Vindatu, Black Death, Vindaxian, and GCAV in the back. Vindatu already screwing up the pace lap because he can't seem to get that right. Yeah, okay, we're good on sound. Excellent. So in the pre-race, it seems that a lot of the drivers are hitting the 150, 159 mark is kind of the average best lap time. So it's a pretty fast track. This is about 3/4 of the loop. So top speed is definitely going to come into play here. I know Black Death, he has a very snappy car out of the gate, so he has very good acceleration. You see he's catching up to these drivers quite rapidly. So Vendetta is trying to warm up his tires there. A little bit of that swerving. So we do have tire damage turned on, so it does, come into play in terms of traction. So we are coming up to the man-made detour that kind of separates the laps. Hey, TK Mayber, how's it going? Welcome. For all the spectating you do, you could be racing. Just saying. Vendetta needs to catch up to the pack here. Black Death is itching to kind of pass him. Wants to be competitive with this as we're coming up to the starting line here. As the drivers seem to be catching up in the proper start order. So we should be good to go. Alright, pace lap is complete after this bend here, and we'll be on to our first real lap. If you heard last week, we had some major performance issues up here in the booths. We are off. We've since fixed them, so that's a good improvement over last week. So Lad out in front, Centurio Butts in second, Vendanu in third, Black Death in fourth. Vendaxian looking like he's making a move early, trying to get in. A little bit of a paint scratch with Vendadu forcing Black Death to the outside. GCav also looking like he's trying to split Vendaxian and Black. I mean, this is a very narrow track, so I think we're going to see some major bunching and possibly some collisions as Lad goes off the track, loses all momentum, and falls back to fifth place as Black Death wasn't able to quite pass him. I'm just going to move up just a tad bit so we can see the race leader and what's going on. So we see Centurio Butts up there and Vendadu in second, Vendaxian in third. GCav taking a little bit of paint off Vendaxian's rear bumper there. It's where Black Death's car really shines. See if he's able to make a pass here. Let's actually back up right now. Yeah, so he was able to catch up. So you can see his car is very high top speed, very good acceleration. So he's actually able to make up some serious time on this oval part, as he is just taking them on the outside, passing Vendaxian and claiming third place. Not hitting the brakes quite hard enough. Going to take some major penalties there for that pylon destruction, falling back to fifth place. So a little too aggressive on the oval as the drivers are spreading out. Be interesting to see what the lap times are after this first real lap. If you are just joining us, this is race number 7, Daytona International Speedway. Season number 6 here at the Over30Clan. You can check us out at over30clan.com. We're a gaming community for older generation of gamers. So the lap time currently, the best lap is currently at 2:01. We were seeing 1:58s in the pre-game warm-up, so pre-race warm-up. So we know that's definitely possible. So we're not quite driving out our prime yet. There was a little bit of crowding during that first real lap after the pace lap, so I think that had to do with a little bit with slowing down some of the drivers. So we'll check back with these guys in just a second. Let's pop up to Vendaxian currently in third. We see Centurio Butts is pulling quite far ahead, actually. Vendadu in second, Vendaxian in third. So we've seen them spread out a little bit. Still very competitive. Definitely have lots of laps to go. Let's pop up to Centurio Butts here, who's having a very good race. See how he's driving, what lines he's driving in his bright white Camaro. Very nice lines on that shortcut with the detour part of the oval. Very smooth turning on the inclined oval part here as well. Pull up the map here so we can see he has avoided a lot of the hecticness early in the race and has managed to claim quite a large lead, considering we've only down about 4 laps. So he's driving a very excellent race so far. Nice solid line, smooth acceleration out of the turn. Lost a little bit of momentum there from this little bit of the front end swinging, but not bad. Let's take a look at the map. So it seems the drivers have caught up a tad bit. So let's fall back to GKEV here, currently in 4th place. We see a little bit more of a competitiveness. So the competition definitely seems to be between 2nd and 4th right now, as they've bunched up quite close. It seems we have Black Death actually here, so his car definitely shines on the oval. As long as he doesn't overshoot this part, he typically does quite well. So he managed to navigate the detour much better this lap. Putting a lot of pressure on GKEV. He might just, I mean, with his power, he could definitely just take him right on the outside. So just going high on GKEV on the oval, no problems. This car has a tremendous acceleration and very high top speed, so he definitely can make up a lot of time on the on this long oval part. Interested to see how he brakes here after the line, as this is an incredibly sharp left turn here. So seems to do just fine. So Vindadio and Black Death have caught up to Vindaxi, and we have GKEV on the outside. So he's putting pressure on Black Death. So very competitive second and 5th place position right now. They've also seemed to have dropped the gap between them and Centurio Butts as well, as he's not too far ahead now, with 16 laps to go. So we can hear GKEV pressuring Black on the outside. He's actually very close. You can see his bumper there. So it looks like he's going to be able to pass Black Death possibly. But we fit the oval part, and this is really where Black Death's car shines. So he's definitely going to pull ahead now. Hey, Cold, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining us. Black Death seems to be making some serious time up on Vindadio as well. Now, we've seen this aggressive play before a couple laps ago, and he overshot these pylons. It looks like he might do that again, yeah. So we're going to see another penalty going to Black Death for being just a little bit too aggressive on the oval. And he's, I think, already racked up quite a large number of penalties. So let's bump back down to GKEV, currently in 5th place. He has Vindadio and Black Death up in front of him. Still staying fairly close, although they spread out a little bit since last lap. One of the harder turns here. It's very sharp, long left. Hey, Deathis, I appreciate the follow, man. Thank you very much. Sorry that I missed you about 9 minutes ago. Ooh, a little bit of paint rubbing between GKev and Vendadu. No one wants to back down. Let's get the map out here so we can get a better picture of the drivers. So I'm interested to see what the time penalties are like. I think Black Death has racked up quite a number of them. Take a look at the ticker here. You can see what our current best lap time is. So 1:58.40 seems to be the best lap time that I see up on the board. Coming from our leader, Centurio Butts. So it appears Black Death has not racked up any penalties. Yeah, thanks, Ocold. Yeah, I made some pretty fantastic improvements, I think, so. I got it running at 4K at 100 frames, so it's should be nice and smooth for us, hopefully. Knock on wood. So I just want to see this pass here. Looks like he's catching up to Vendati. Then we'll jump up to Black Death, currently in third place again, as they seem to have bunched up between first and third. A little bit of a pit action between Vendati and GKev. Vendati managing to stay on the track. Hyper aggressive driving on this fairly, simple track with some very specific technical points. Okay, so let's jump up to Black Death, currently in third place, get a view of the leader, Centurio. Oh, Vindaxian looks like he's making a major move on Centurio Butts for first place, as he managed to make up quite a huge amount of time. Centurio Butts was fairly far out ahead. So let's just take a look at Vindaxian here on the oval, as he does appear to be making a bit of distance up on Centurio, very slowly though. He's only about a quarter second behind. Both maneuvering this this detour very smoothly. Their lines are almost identical. So 1:58.5 is the time to beat for the best lap so far. I should clarify, best clean lap so far, as dirty laps aren't shown up as the best lap time if a penalty's occurred during the lap. Vindaxian looking like he's being aggressive here on the inside. Putting a lot of pressure on Centurio Butts on that last turn. Centurio Butts exiting with a bit more momentum, though. Able to stay ahead. So let's jump back. Let's keep an eye on these two and jump back to Black Death, currently in third. He's also caught up, so we have a very competitive first-third position right now. So Vindaxian looked like he was trying to be aggressive on the inside of Centurio Butts. Not able to take advantage of that, though. So they're both driving very smooth, almost identical lines. And if you're just joining us, we're running race number 7 here of Season 6 of the Over30Clan Winter Series. It's a Forza series you do every Friday. We do 2 seasons a year, a winter and a summer series. You can check us out at Over30Clan.com. Seems to be a very competitive race. So Black Death is running a very powerful car with a crapload of acceleration. He can make up a lot of time on these ovals, as you can see, as he builds up momentum. Very aggressive braking from Black Death, managing to navigate the detour just fine. He did have some problems with it on lap number 3, I believe it was, where he overshot the pylons. Didn't occur any penalties for it, though. I guess the refs were asleep during that time. You can see, though, you can just make up a ton of time on these ovals. This car is definitely tuned well for this track. As he passes Vindaxian, claims second place. Vindaxian dropping down to third. So we still have Centurio Butts out in front. Well, Vindaxian not having any of that. Black Death braking just a little too aggressively. Vindaxian having a little bit more nimble of a car. Seems to be able to take that. Brake a little bit faster and harder than Black. Probably due to the weight. I think Vindaxian's driving a very, very light car compared to Black Death, so he's able to brake a lot heavier. So we got a second penalty on Vindadu. Black Death currently best lap is 157.9, so that's the best. That's the fastest lap we've seen in today, actually, during the entire few-hour pre-race. That's definitely one of the fastest times. So very good driving out of Black this race. Still very competitive. We're almost halfway through the race now. We take a look at the map, we'll see that we have a bunching up between first and third, and there's very competitive between fourth and sixth as well. Oh, cutting the track just a little bit there. Huzzah! Glorious 142 frames on 4K. Well, you're seeing it as 1080p, but you know. Oh, Vindaxian and Black Death both overshooting that turn. Centurio Butts able to hold the line, makes up some time. So let's jump back and give Lad and the guys in the back a bit of coverage here as well. So Lad and GCAV very competitive for fifth and sixth place. They do have fourth in their sights. Still a lot of track to go, still a lot of driving to go, so there could be an opportunity to for some position swapping as well. GCAV with that crazy spoiler and the old man racing paint job. GCAV able to hold that line. So I think we had Black Death pull into second place. So let's jump back to Vindaxian here in third, see how competitive it is. So yeah, very competitive first, third. Vindaxian about 1 second behind the leader. Or 1 second behind Black, you should say. So we're seeing a few 159s hitting the board as well. So I'd say 150, 159, very competitive times. 159 is a competitive time, 158 is, I think, a lap leader at the moment. Penalties up on the board, so we got, you know, 3/4 second, 1 second penalties. half-second penalties, so everyone is racked up a few penalties. Black Death still holding the lap lead with 157.9. Centurion Butt's current best lap is 158, current leader. Black Death spinning out of control, hitting the pylons. A little bit of a pylon massacre, but Black Death still able to hold on in second place. Oh, it goes a little bit wide on the outside, but the power of his car is just phenomenal as he doesn't care. Don't need an optimal line. I just need a long straightaway, and I can make up some serious time. So definitely pick the right car for this track. Super fast top speed. So take a look at the map, see where everyone is. So we seem to have still a bunch in between first and third, but people have spread out fourth, fifth, and sixth. I'm not sure if there's been any pitting action. I didn't notice any pitting yet, but definitely could have had some pits in there. We do require that all drivers do at least one pit. So there is one mandatory pit stop. So it seems that Centurion Butts is 2.5 seconds ahead of Black Death, which is a fair amount of time to actually make up on this track, but we do have 9 laps remaining. So Black Death again taking that turn a little bit too wide. Decides to massacre a few pylons. They have families. So let's pop to our race leader, Centurion Butts, and just watch him for a lap. See the type of lines he's driving. So very, very smooth, very tight turning. Avoiding that pylon, going a little bit wide in this turn. Smooth exit. Black Death still holding the best lap, 157. So we're just taking a look at the race leader, Centurion Butts here, just watching him for a lap and his smooth turns and exits. He's driving very nice lines. Hugging the inside of the oval. So he's having an absolute fantastic race. Let's take a look at the map here. So a little bit more spreading out. So very competitive first and second. Third place has fallen back quite a bit. Fourth, fifth, and sixth have dropped off considerably as well. I'm not sure if the drivers in fourth to sixth position have done any pitting yet. I haven't seen any pitting from first to third. We've been spending most of our time. Let's fall back to Black Death here. He seems to be catching up. So he's right on the heels of Centurion Butts. Using that acceleration to his advantage. Let's take the map away. Centurion Butts making a mistake there, going a little bit too wide, losing a fair amount of momentum, but managing to stay on the track. I don't think he's going to incur a penalty for that, but giving Black Death an opportunity here. Curious to see what Black Death does on this oval because of just the sheer power of his car. He might actually have an opportunity to make up some serious time on Centurion Butts. Very smooth detour exit. Tad slow, but he appears to be making up some space here. This Black Death is opting to pit. So we'll check back with him in just a moment. So let's take a look at Vindaxian, currently in 3rd place. Wonder if he's opted to pit yet. Let's take a look at his gas. I don't think he's ended up pitting. So no, he's 61%. This is his car is very, very efficient on fuel. Still plenty in the tank. He could definitely do all 21 laps on a single tank of gas. While we're actually on that topic, let's take a look at our race leader here and see what he's doing for gas as well. So 24%, so he still has plenty of fuel as well, so there's no real urgency for him to pit, although he's taking this turn a little bit wide. Let's pop back to Vindaxian. I think it manages to catch up. So Black Death dropped down to the 4th because of the early pit. Well, I shouldn't say early, but being one of the first ones to pit in the top 3. But these two drivers haven't done their pit yet, so this will give Black a bit of time and space. Very aggressive detour driving by Vindaxian. Very smooth. So Black Death has racked up a 1 3/4, almost 2-second penalty. Vindaxian now the race leader at 1:57.96. Very aggressive time. He's made up almost a second on that lap over Centurio Butts. That's why he's been able to catch up so aggressively. 6 laps to go. Our drivers are fighting for, I believe, 6 points today. Black Death currently the season point leader. Centurio Butts and Vindaxian are within a point. I think they're only 1 point behind this season, so very competitive. So I wonder if we're going to see Centurio Butts opt to pit on lap 15. Very aggressive, very smooth oval running by Vindaxian. Centurio Butts exiting very high on the oval. So Centurio Butts is opting to pit as well. So Vindaxian is the only one currently in first place, only one who hasn't pitted out of the top 3. Let's take a look at Black Death currently in 3rd place, see if he's able to make up some time on Centurio Butts. So Centurio Butts is exiting the pit now on your left. Black Death is coming up, so Black Death will be able to pass Centurio Butts after the normalization. Black Death being very aggressive on that oval. I think he saw his opportunity to finally, claim first place since Vindaxian hasn't pitted yet. was a little bit aggressive, but is able to completely catch up to Centurion Butts, so he's now within car length, so no worse for wear before these two decided to pit. Vindaxian still hasn't pit yet. He is running the fastest lap, being very aggressive, so 5 laps to go. We'll see if Vindaxian is able to possibly claim first place if he continues to drive like this. He's only a few seconds behind, so Black Death with a fair amount of penalties, almost 2 seconds of penalties. You have to take a look at what Centurion Butts' penalties look like, and Vindaxian as well. So Vindaxian is 1.5 seconds, Black Death is 1.75. I didn't see anything for Centurion Butts. Vindaxian is still our race leader, 157, or a lap leader, I should say, 157, best lap. So we have 4 full laps to go in this race. Still very competitive first and third. Vindaxian may have pitted, or he has pitted, so Centurion Butts in first. Black Death in second. Vindaxian should be, yep, just behind, fair back, but still within sight of second place. So switch back to Black. I know we've been spending a lot of time on him, but he has such great pickup on the oval. Definitely has an opportunity to challenge Centurion Butts, who has been the race leader for the vast majority of this race, only losing the position during an early pit. I think all drivers now have pitted. So Black Death has been very hyper-aggressive on this oval, braking extremely late, but it has been sort of working out for him. If executed properly, seems to have very high acceleration, very good braking on this car, so he's able to make up serious time and space during the end of that oval. So now pressuring Centurion Butts quite heavily here, going to the second part of the oval after the detour. Only a few car lengths separate him. So if Black Death can execute this last heavy left turn without slamming into the wall or taking up pylons, I think we will have a new race leader. So Black Death taking first place in this race for the first time. It's only 3 laps remaining. Managing not to slam into the wall or take up pylons, giving Centurion Butts a bit of an opportunity to let it pass. So that was a short-lived first place. Centurion Butts reclaiming that position. So this is a very competitive first and second at the moment. Let's take a look at the map, see where the drivers are. So we have very competitive first, second. Third place is not too far behind. Fourth, fifth, and we have a fourth position fairly far ahead of fifth and sixth, which seem to be a very competitive race as well. We'll have to check out with them in just a moment. We'll bump back down to, whoops, did not mean to do that. Let's take the map off. Let's bump back to Black Death, currently second place. As we're coming up to the first part of the oval. And see if that aggressive driving pays off from Black, the aggressive braking at the end. That was a strange loading screen. I don't think we've lost anyone. But you see a Black Death at the end of that oval almost breaks a half second later than Centurio Butts, so he's able to make up quite a bit of time. So some very aggressive braking. Sees an opportunity to pass Centurio Butts here on the outside. Coming up to a very aggressive left turn, though. Black Death slowing down well in advance. Centurio Butts managing to take back that first place. There's only a few car lengths separate first and second. Only a few laps to go. So Black Death, so Centurio Butts is currently has no penalties in the match. Black Death with the 1.75 second penalty. So Black Death will have to not only pass Centurio Butts here, but beat him by almost 2 full seconds in order to actually claim first. After we take into consideration the penalties, Centurio Butts has had a very clean race. So Vindaxi with the 157.9 is still the race lap time leader. Best lap time? Best time lap? Best lap? Yeah, one of those. Best lap time. There we go. Don't know why that tongue-tied me, but it did. So 2 laps remain. We'll just jump back here to Ladd, currently in 6th place. Hot on the heels of GCAV, so there's not a lot of time that separates 1st and 6th. All the drivers have been driving a pretty clean, pretty good race for the most part. We have a grouping between 1st and 3rd, and a grouping between 4th and 6th. But they're only about a quarter lap, not less than a quarter lap behind, so only a few seconds separate 1st and 6th. I find it very difficult to make up the time with only a few laps to go, though. So we'll jump back over to Black Death here, because it looks to be very competitive 1st and 2nd. Again, Centurio Butts with no penalties. Black Death with about 1.5 minutes, and Vindaxian about I think it was 1 minute in penalties as well. So we're going to have to see an absolute blowout in the next lap and a half if Black Death is actually going to claim first place from Centurio Butts. So we are in our final lap, so let's go ahead and flip over to Centurio Butts to watch him. See, he navigates his final lap here. Black Death is right outside. So cue Black Death on the outside. As this is typically where he makes up some serious time on the oval. He is less than a car length behind Centurion Butts, who are currently viewing. Nice smooth entry and exit of the detour, going into the second part of the oval. Coming into the last part of this race. So Centurion Butts, currently the race leader. It appears he will take first place. Does not hold the fastest lap, but very consistent high lap times. As Black Death is passing him on the outside, but remember Black Death does have almost 2 seconds worth of penalties, so he'd have to beat Centurion Butts by full 1.75 seconds, which he'll not do. So Black Death will be our second place finisher tonight. Centurion Butts will take this down in first. Vindaxian coming in third place. Vendadu up there, you can see ahead of GKev, so we're watching GKev right now, Vendadu in front. So Vendadu will finish in fourth as he crosses the line. GKev in fifth. And Lad in sixth place. So that is our race, ladies and gentlemen. So let's check in with the drivers.
So I just
Lad
started
with
going.
bad one back there.
So excellent race, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there was a very we spent a lot of time looking at the top 3 drivers. So sorry we completely ignored you guys in the back, but it was a very competitive first to third for like the vast majority of the race, and we didn't want to miss a lot of the passing. Black, you on the ovals were super aggressive in your braking, which you paid for dearly in lap number 3. I think you racked up like 1.5 second in penalty in the first like 4 laps, but it was clean, pretty clean after that. Once you kind of got
You can only
settled,
use your parachute once.
right?
I had to simmer down.
Yeah. But no, I mean even after lap number 3, where you had that little bit of a wall smash, it wasn't so much wall. You hit a lot of the pylons went a little bit wide on that first part of the loop, right? And you came into the second part of the loop, like the detour part, I think you went a little wide, so you didn't actually slam in anything, but you got a shitload of penalties. But after you sorted that out, you were still braking super aggressive. So I noticed that not only were you like accelerating really heavily on the turn, not caring about being on the inside, you could totally pass people on the far outside because your car was so powerful. But you're also coming, when you came up to that very sharp left turn right after the finish line, you're almost braking like half a second after the driver in front of you and still managing to get around that turn. So I don't know what type of train brakes you have on that car, but I mean you're braking faster than the car's half your weight. Is
Just throwing the anchor out.
yeah, just putting your feet down like Barney Rubble style.
You can't really judge him off of me because I was braking way early just because I wanted to keep it clean and wanted to not
Protect your
give up
position.
stupid seconds. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was braking earlier and I would hog the heck out of the apex.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out. I
They
mean,
were
worked.
not gonna get to it.
It worked out for you, right? So like Vindaxian ran what? He ran a 1:57, which is the fastest lap time that we saw, right? You were like 1:58, 1:59s, but you were very consistent, so it worked out for you. Black Death passing at the end really didn't matter because he had almost 2 seconds worth of penalties.
Yeah, if I could have
Right,
hit the
so-
clean race, then that would have been a legit win.
If you didn't slam into walls and had to throw parachutes and put anchors down, yeah, you could. But would you have been able to drive as fast if you weren't as aggressive? I don't know.
Yeah.
But who knows?
That
Kev,
was
did you
one
run
hell
out
of
of
a
gas? Did
No,
Kev run
I
out of gas?
didn't.
No, you made it? Good.
I did not.
Yeah, Kev almost ran out of gas.
Were you sputtering at all this race, or
No.
no? You didn't end up sputtering.
I was worried about it because
Very
I
good.
did 2 laps in the yellow. But, ooh,
Very cool. So yeah, congratulations, Centurion Butts. Very interesting and fun race to watch for you, Black Death. I mean, Centurion, you drove a very clean, very beautiful line. Whenever we watched you, it was like beautiful going into the turn and coming out is excellent. Black Death was just like on a fucking rampage. He's like, I'm making up all my time right now.
Driving.
I'm making up 5 seconds this lap. Let's go.
Like from like 140 mile an hour up, he was just unbeatable. I couldn't touch him.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
if there's more of an oval on that track, Black Death could have slammed into every other wall and still managed to keep his time because his car was so powerful.
Yeah, that car would do about 185, 186 on the tail end past the start finish.
Yeah, and braked just fast, right? So that was good. But only like less than a quarter lap actually separated first and sixth. So a very good race from all you guys. It was fun to watch. It was a good. That's actually a really good track. Really fun track.
Yeah, that was really entertaining and a lot of fun to drive.
Yeah. Yeah, because like 3/4 of it's a big oval, right?
Yep.
If they didn't
Pick
put
the
that
next
detour
one?
in, it'd be even crazier. Yes, I could pick our next one. I keep forgetting I have to do that.
Now, Butts and I. The series is tied.
Series is tied.
I'm gonna miss next week probably, or wait, May. In May, I'm gonna miss a week.
Oh, May.
Oh, Google, which wheel picker are you going to give me today? This one. Okay.
Hey, Black, you messed up the one that you dropped, because I will drop this race. Keep my 5.
All right, so Daytona we've done.
I just use the 2 lowest numbers in the
Oops.
field as a function of Excel. Just to search
Hatch.
for the...
Lime Rock we've done, right?
Yep.
Maple Valley we've done. Rio de Janeiro we did, yes, last week. Road Atlanta we've done.
Second lowest is 5.
And that's it. Okay. So update.
Brands Hatch.
All right. Can I get a drum roll, please? We should have a drum roll emote in the chat. Just saying.
Yeah, come
And
on.
Long Beach.
Long Beach.
nice.
Oh.
So the Jeep CJ5 holds the record, and then the 65 Mustang's out, and the I-Set is out.
It's an acceleration track, so it makes sense. We were just talking about Long Beach the other day.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, Delray likes it. Track.
Well, there you go, guys. So Long Beach, race number 8, next Friday, 11 o'clock. Be there or be square. And any of you guys want to say anything before I shut the stream off abruptly and kick all of our spectators out of the room?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank
Yep.
you. Come back next week.
Very good. Nice job, guys. So thank you guys for checking us out. You can find us at over30clan.com. We are a gaming community designed for the older generation of gamers. So if you are over the age of 30 and you want to play with some people who have the same commitments in life as you do, feel free to check us out at over30clan.com. We're here every single Friday for each season for 12 weeks. So we have, I think, we're race number 7 tonight, race number 8 tomorrow. So we only have 4 races to go. So feel free to check us out at 11 o'clock every Friday for 4 more Fridays until the season's over. And TK, thank you. TK Member, thank you for checking us out and keeping us company as always. And we'll see you guys next week. So take care.